Hey man, what's going on, dude?
No,
You know you're the reason why I started the podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You remember what happened?
I gave you the mic. I remember that.
So what happened was is you gave me a mic. We went on a job one day and you gave me a mic and you had a mic at your house and I was like, "Yo," I said, "If you let me have that mic," I said, "I'll start a podcast today or something." And you were like, "Dude, you said I'll give you that mic, but you got to start a podcast." But anyway, I got that mic that day, and I ended up recording that night. I recorded a podcast, and then I think we went on the job the next day or something. And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I dropped one last night, bro." Yeah, he was like, "That's quick." And so, like, I've been trying to have you on and stuff. Braden, is it sounding good? Like, is everything working over there? Is my cord plugged in? Is everything bouncing when I talk? Sounding good? All right. I see it over there working too. Great. We were supposed to do a podcast a long time ago, man.
Long fucking
Yeah,
time ago.
and you went missing, and so I'm just glad that you're back, dude. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we get to do this, man, because I always thought that it was meant to be. I thought that you were always meant to be one of my original guests, and now you're fucking here, bro.
I
I
mean,
fucking love it, dude.
it's good to be back. It's good to be home, man. And this won't be the last one. It'll be the first, but not the last.
First of many, because I feel like we don't have very much time this evening, and I feel like once we get rocking and rolling, we'll have to like wrap it up and come to a stop, which will be cool because then like it'll make it for another conversation later on down the road, which I'm fucking
Right.
stoked about, man. So yeah, dude, what happened, man? Where you been, bruh?
Went on a little vacation to a place they call jail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
been locked up. I just like, man, and that's why, like, yeah, dude, you were in jail, and the reason is like people stigmatize jail. People stigmatize people that go to jail. People stigmatize people that might like to have a few. And like what I'm trying to really convey the message is, man, is like what's important is that we learn how to love ourselves and we learn how to put ourselves in a position to where we don't go to places like that. It's stigmatized because you think that like bad people go to jail. Like that's what we're told as a little
yeah.
kid. Like if you go to jail, that means that you're bad and that means that you've done something wrong. You broke the law. But like no one ever like told us that like sometimes that our circumstances, like the things that life gives us, the trauma, the situations, we find ourselves in the back of a cop car and we're like, so like I don't really remember like the real bad decision that I made here
Yeah.
that
It's
made me
like
feel
why
like
me, like,
like I'm a bad person, dude.
dude. I'll tell you, like, the the people that are, I mean, the crowd I used to run around with, and we're just, dude, the biggest pieces of shit, dude. Straight up, the biggest pieces of shit. Never got caught for anything. They're still out there today doing the same exact shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's like, call it what you want, but it's a God thing, dude. It's like God. Nobody was gonna tell me what to do. Mama tried, daddy tried, everybody tried, teachers tried, principal tried. Dude, there was no telling me different. I was gonna do what the fuck I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, how I wanted to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just honestly, it took, put your hands behind your back, son. And then put me behind bars. And you're looking around at a brick room. How am I gonna get out of here? You know what I mean? Okay, there's no drugs in here. There's nothing to do in here except sit and think about your decisions and forced to be sober. And I mean, and honestly, there was an old guy that told me, and that'll never leave my brain. He said, the best way to put it is I wasn't arrested, I was rescued.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude. And I mean, seriously, like, because I tried multiple rehabs and did all that. Man, I went out and started getting high. Like, I was probably good for a couple weeks or whatever. Dude, it didn't stick. You know what I mean? But going to the big house and stuff like that, I'm like, dude, hell no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got lucky just doing just the little bit of time that I did.
I think for me, man, because look it up, bro. Like I've been arrested 9 times. I'm 33. And I look back like I started getting arrested when I'm 18. I'm 33 now. That's a little bit over 12 years. So for a while there, I was getting arrested every single year, sometimes twice a year.
Yeah, just for some stupid shit.
Yeah. But like what I really started to realize was for me, was I had some bad shit happen to me when I was a kid, bro. Some bad shit, and like the accountability didn't really go that far for the shit that happened to me. And then like say a cuss word outside of my house, my mom's house when I'm 17, and this cop that just has it out for me drives by and arrests me for disorderly conduct, cussing.
Yeah.
Yo, there's people out here that are doing the real shit, bro. Now y'all got me feeling like I'm the bad. So y'all gonna see somebody bad now. What I really started to see was like, since I'm bad because I kept going to jail and making me feel like that I was bad, why is that cop bad? Why is that cop got some shit on him? Why are these jailers, why are they doing some dirt? Why are these deputies that why are they sleeping with other women? Why are all these things going on and I'm considered bad? I really wanted to prove a point that last time that I went like, nah, motherfucker, I'm not bad.
Yeah.
I am a good human. I know what God has put on my heart. I am not bad and I am surrounded by bad. Even the people that are telling me what to do are bad.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this is all fucked up. And I was like, can't do nothing about it right here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to play the game. And I did, bro. And I played the game, and I had counselors. I had my probation officer tell me, oh, Jordan, you took some hot links back to your room. That means that we're gonna revoke you, and you're gonna go to do TDC time. That means that when you get out, you're gonna relapse. And I'm like, okay, guys, like relapse, whatever.
Over
You
some
know,
hot links.
listen, man, that was the last time I went to treatment, and that's what I said. I was like, y'all, if y'all are gonna sit here and correlate and draw points to like me relapsing because like of the things that y'all are teaching me and me laughing. I already told y'all I want to be sober. I want this. I want something different in my life. And right now, words mean nothing. So, like, I can't prove it here. But I guarantee you, the moment I get out of here, I'm going to prove it. And that's been my stomping ground ever since, man. Like, I had something to prove because everybody kept labeling me as bad and like, you're never gonna get it. Like you're gonna always like go into this circle. And I was like, man, no, I promise y'all. Like, and so like the game was just like, all right, well, I'll just take some sausages, I'll play this game, make y'all think whatever, because your perception of me is already like your opinion, your perception, what you think of me is already sealed, signed,
Yeah.
sealed, delivered in your head.
You're already wearing.
You're gonna feel that way. So what am I gonna do to convince you otherwise anyway? So I might as well just do me. And like I said, I wanted it. I was tired of Xanax, bro. I was tired of the Klonopins. I was tired. Me, it was booze. And I was just tired of the getting drunk and wanting to get drunk and then getting drunk. And then that feeling of, dude, I hate this so much. All those things, I wanted it. So these people that were telling me, you're bad, you're going to go back out, we're going to revoke you, you're going to do all this time. Yo, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. For one, your side of the street ain't even clean because I know that there is shit that goes on in there. A lot of this shit, and the reason that I'm in the place that I'm in is a projection. It's a mere projection of what goes on behind closed doors that y'all get away with and y'all see it.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I was 2 steps ahead of the game in a lot of things because I already was doing the dirt. I can see it for what it is. Like I was just really fucked up with the fact that they were calling me bad, bro. Just seeing it for what it was. I wasn't bad. I needed help. The system fucking failed me. What I'm really big on now, dude, for instance, the sexual assault that I was, a victim of. The dude's not a sex offender as of Veterans Day. He was a registered sex offender November 10th.
He was a veteran.
No.
Okay.
He got
I was like, is it like a
he got discharged off of the sex offender registry on the 11th.
Okay.
What am I to do in this? Because like I'm big on forgiveness and I'm big on unconditional love, dude. So I've had to do a lot of work on this. And I'm like, well, I'm going to let this man go back off. the best way to do it is this: talk. And so I got some people. I was like, where do I call the people that these sex offenders register to? And so I called a parole office and I got like, hey, like they report here to the PD. So I called Longview PD and I'm like, hey, I said, I know that it's probably a little late now, but I'll tell you who I am. I'm Jordan Richards. I am the victim of Monty Staten. Does he report there? And she was like, yes, he has reported here before. And I said, I know I'm a little bit late in the game here. I said, but he's getting off of papers for being a for being a predator. And I just want to tell you, it was just an indecent exposure charge, but sex was involved. And that's not indecent exposure. That's full on contact. And she's like, you can tell like she's taking it in. I'm like, I bet you have a rapport with him too, because he's been seeing you for like 5 or 7 years now, seeing you monthly, quarterly. I'm like, I'm sure you have a rapport with him. So like, I'm sure that you have your side of the story from what he said. Here's what I got for you. I said, I just dropped a podcast telling my side of the story. I said, I'm not here to tell you who's right or who's wrong. I just want you to go hear my side. Better yet, I know that he's getting off papers. Why don't you share it with him too? And she was like, oh, like I really appreciate it. And she did, bro. She did.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I can do but a voice where they've dropped the ball. Like, who's bad for real, bro? Are we just in a failed system? Because also, after I found out that it wasn't even the Longview PD, he has to do like a certain requirement that's already been predestined. It's much like probation terms. If I do X, Y, and Z, then I'll get off here.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, who signs off on something like that? And they're like,
Right.
the judge. 7th District Court judge of Smith County signs off on that. So the guys that are voting for that judge, I'll put it on there, but I believe that's the people that y'all vote for over there in Smith County. And he definitely let a sex offender off. We got to let that know. But I called him, bro. No one answered. But my intentions are going to be like, hey, listen, this is the victim here. Did y'all know that there was so much more that went on and y'all didn't even give me a chance to speak? Y'all didn't give me a chance to have any real type of therapy. Y'all told me where I could go and told me what I could do, but it all came out of my pockets. And nothing ever really happened. And then I fell in that addiction and y'all made me feel like I'm the bad person.
Yeah.
From the moment that I said something, y'all made me feel like that I was going to be arrested because I'm the kid and somebody's doing something bad to me. And now I'm part of something bad here. Y'all dropped the ball.
Dude, and that is like just what you said. Like you started leaning towards chemicals and drugs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It almost.
How am I supposed to cope, bro?
Yeah. I wasn't sexually abused as a child, but I was definitely physically abused. Our stepdad, man, he would just come home fucked up on Xanax and drinking and shit like that, dude. And he would just, our house would be immaculate. Shoes are left in front of the couch or whatever, and just come wake me up in the middle of the night and then just like, hey, here, come here. I got to show you something. And I'm like, what the fuck? Pull me in there and point at the shoes. What are those? Oh, shit. I already know what time it is. And he'd fucking, dude, I got to the point where I was military. Yes, sir. No, sir. Shit like that. I am not trying to get my ass whooped.
Yeah.
But Quentin, my little brother, he was not really catching on as quick. And so that was the biggest part for me, was watching my little brother getting yanked up by his arm in the air, feet dangling off the ground and getting his ass tore up. There's a lot of shit like that just kind of, you don't realize that it fucks with you that bad and stuff. So the older I got, and I started getting fucked up and just didn't want to think about shit, and could have used some kind of therapy and stuff like that, man. But I don't know.
Was there any accountability for what he did? At that point in time,
not really. No, nothing like that. Like the law getting involved and stuff.
Yeah,
definitely led to like my mom finally. And I would get so fucking mad at my mom, dude. My mom at the time was involved with drugs because of him and stuff like that. My mom is like, he's bringing in what money we did have, and putting the roof over our head and stuff like that. If I
She
would,
was in a real codependent relationship. She couldn't.
yeah,
She was trapped.
right, yeah. And so, but finally, it just like, and I would get so fucking mad at her. She would leave him for a little bit because I mean, he was abusing her too. I'm 8 years old or something like that, trying to step up to my big ass 6'2" stepdad. I'm like, get your hands off my mom, motherfucker. And he would just push me down, laugh, and fucking continue like hurting my mom or something like that. And like, what do you do? You know?
Yeah.
But so that fucked me up also. She would leave him for a little bit and then she would get back with him. I knew you were gonna fucking do that. I knew you were gonna do that, you know. But then finally she snapped out of it and fucking man, we took off chopping. I still remember it like it was yesterday, dude. Just took off chopping through a pasture. He went to sleep all fucked up in the middle of the day. He's already drunk at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and my mom just wakes us up in a panic or whatever, or like, come on, kids, grab your stuff. We gotta go now. Like, where the fuck are we going? Just took off chopping across the pasture. It was funny. I'm leaving out a big ass part. So this was another God thing right here. They got in a big ass argument before he crashed out. And he said, oh, yeah, well, if you don't like this life, if you don't like what I'm doing for you, you can just take your ass on across that pasture right there and go knock on that neighbor's door and you can leave. You know, like, that's actually a fucking brilliant idea.
Yeah.
You know, so like as soon as he passed out, she came, she grabs us up, and boom, that's exactly what happened.
And y'all left. But
Boop.
see, that's the thing, man. Like, we see these atrocities. We see how the world has affected us. At least for me, and I'll use an I statement here because I feel like that I became the outcast of society because I was seeing these things and I was being victimized by these things. But yet I'm being told that like all these things are wrong with me. I'm the bad person here. And ultimately I did do bad things because trauma did breed trauma. And I wasn't perfect, bro. I was failed from the moment that I wanted to like say something about something. Somebody that could talk to me in a way or help me understand that I wasn't going to be arrested. But ultimately, the things that were dished out far outweighed the way that I felt on the inside. But yet, the collective portrayed me as what I had been victimized as in a fucked up way.
Yeah.
I don't believe that like I was portrayed ever as a predator, but I was definitely portrayed as a fuck up of society, of somebody, an addict, somebody that was never gonna to get it right. What they failed to realize is like people like you and people like me, we see what the worst of humanity has to offer in the form of whether that be what a man can do to another man or what a man can do to a child. We see that and we realize, wow, we've got to do the opposite of that. We see how fucked up this is as children, and we have these feelings. What we really want is to not feel that way. We want to feel the opposite. And there's a goal to get there. It's so clouded. It's like impossible to get to that point of trying to get to the opposite. And like once you start catching traction, like, hey, I'm doing good, I'm feeling better, like I can get away from this part that has consumed me for so long. And they're like, nope, here's some meds. We're going to put you on probation. We're just going to do something to throw a variable in to make it a little bit harder for you to make it in society. For instance, I did run from the police, dude. I did evade in a motor vehicle. I did do my probation. I did 5 years. But like what people fail to realize about that was it was designed for me to not make it. It was designed for me to not get any real resources from the jump. They didn't take into consideration the trauma that I'd been a part of before. None of my substance history, they didn't like offer any of the help. They was like, here's a certain amount that you have to pay us each month. We expect you to be completely clean.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, completely sober. You better be completely not around other felons. Go do it. And it's like, I don't know how to live life because there was a point in time where I was very abused and then I didn't know how to come from that and nobody showed me. How the fuck do you think that I'm supposed to do that? We're not here to teach you how to live life. Go do this. Do you want to go to prison or not? Wait, do you want to go to prison? No, but I live my life and I've got X, Y, and Z. But were you traumatized? Were you ever like a victim constantly of your circumstances? Were you spoon fed? Or did you get a college education? Did you have guidance? Somewhere along the line, people like you, people like me, people that keep going into treatment centers that can't figure it out were failed. And that's one thing that we can agree on. Somewhere along the lines, we were failed. And people can pull away from that, but like people like Andy, love Andy. He's an LCD. He's starting to see it for what it is, man. He said there was a guy that was one of his buddies going to treatment, dude. He had some money in the bank. He had like 14 grand in the bank, but while he was at treatment, he ended up getting a social security check for like $1,000. Yeah. They knew that he got that check. Well, it just so happened that he wanted to leave. Mind you, he had 14 grand in the bank. He wanted to leave, dude. He got the itch to go get high again. The man left and went and got high. So he had a moment of clarity and he's like, I want to get clean. They're like, we know what happened last time. You had that money in the bank. You left. Nah, you ain't coming back, bro. He's like, but I want to get clean. I got money now. I got insurance. Nah, we're not letting you back in. I thought you wanted to fucking save lives. The people that are college degrees are seeing this now because it is meant to be a revolving door. We are meant to keep going back in because what if addiction was cured? What if somehow there was something that you could take and immediately all cravings of everything immediately went away? What would happen to the treatment centers? They would go bankrupt. There would be no more treatment centers.
That would be a good thing, right?
What about the LCDCs? What if there would be no jobs for them? Like that would be a good thing, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say
that would be a great society to live in. Oh, but we live in a society where we have to make money. And that if we start to lose money, if profits start to decline, then something's wrong. And there are treatment centers that see line graphs decline and they're like, why? Why?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I was told, and I was in treatment, 33% recidivism rate, 33% recidivism rate. And that wasn't 73 or 77% make it. That's 77% fail and come back in those doors. And it's probably even less than that. And they kept saying that. And I got to the point, I was like, yo, if they don't want us coming back, then why do they keep throwing those numbers at us? Because if we don't want to come back, then we don't need to know those numbers. You're telling me a number and you're giving me
that like puts
you're casting doubt on me. And I started to see it for what it was, dude. And that's where I became a real nuisance in treatment because I was like, yo, like stop saying numbers to us, bro. Like we don't care because we're not coming back. And you know what? You know what's really funny? You know who the last person in that treatment center was before it closed? Me. And they started dwindling down the people. It went from like 53 to 20 to 12. And there was like, they're closing this place down. They're closing this down. And they did close it down, dude.
Yeah.
Deer Center.
Pause right.
You got TT?
Yes, I got a TT.
Okay, go TT, man.
They didn't close it down.
They did close it down. They did. And I don't know if I had a part in that, but I like to think I did. So yeah, man, they shut it down, but it was in the middle of COVID. COVID started happening, but they didn't reopen it. And what I see now, like there was a conservative counselor there by the name of Pamela Kelly. She's passed away now.
This was what, the Senecor?
No, this was the Deer unit in White Oak so after you and I did our little running together in 2019, it was either suicide or go to jail, bro. I was tired of dealing with probation, and I was either going to go and do prison time or I was going to die, or I didn't care, bro. I didn't care. I told Miss Biddy, I sent her an email, and I was like, I'm in this house. There's beer everywhere. I'm gonna drink myself to death, or you can lock me up, bro. Like I'm done here. Done. She's like, well, I'm actually at a treatment center right now, touring it, and we're thinking about sending some clients here. If you can hold on for a little bit, I'll call you. And she did, bro. It was the same day. And I was like, I'll give it a shot. And they did that was like I was the first person to go back after like 8 or 9 years. And it was my last shot, dude. I was done, dude. I was done. I was really going to kill myself. I was either going to kill myself or I was, dude, send me to prison, bro. I didn't care. Like, I was just so done with these people making me feel this way. I was done making me feel that way. So like I was done with them making me feel that way too. So like I had two options there, bro. Either way, like we done here, bro. Like I'm not fighting this shit no more. And so I ended up going to that treatment center at the Deer, which is a godsend because why would they send me knowing that within a year and a half this place is going to shut down completely? They had a contract with them. They sent another dude from Henderson County after me, two people after me. They sent a guy a week before me, and then I went and they sent a guy after me. They shut it down, bro. And what I started to realize, there was a few counselors there, but there was a very, very conservative, holy roller, probably in her early 70s counselor named Miss Kelly, and like she didn't like me. She didn't like my perspective. She shut me down in group. She would tell me that I was going to relapse. She would constantly gaslight me, and it was just more fuel to the fire. But there was this other counselor. Her name's Mindy Parnell. She's It's funny, man, because she's a big liberal. She loved me, bro. She loved me. And I'm not conservative. I'm not liberal, dude. I believe in what's right.
Yeah.
I believe
You're
in
just George.
simplifying things down. Let's look at things from a very simple point of view and let's call a turkey, a duck, and we're not gonna fucking bullshit nobody, dude.
Right.
And that's what I was seeing was people bullshitting people for. And I was like, fuck this. After I got out of treatment, man, I became a recovery coach and I started to learn harm reduction. And when I started to learn harm reduction, I started to realize I had a lot of anxiety, man. I didn't want to take no Klonopins and I didn't want to take non-narcotics because the non-narcotics always made me want the narcotic. I was like, this ain't shit. Like, this is a Benadryl. I want something real. It was just a cycle. The main thing of harm reduction was it wasn't the 12 steps of AA where they tell you you can't drink. Harm reduction was teaching people, hey, look, I know you're going to go get high tonight. So why don't I give you some clean needles instead of using needles from the street? But let's be real honest. The people that are going to go get high are going to go get high, dude.
Yeah.
The idea behind it was we were meeting people where they were. Hey, let's cut bullshit aside. You're going to go get high, dude. Here's some fucking clean needles. If you need, but it became kind of crazy. In San Francisco, they were doing like,
Dude, I was gonna say that.
yeah, like,
Dude, in Philadelphia,
it became bad, bro. It became bad. And
they set up fucking
yes. And it became very much enabling. But what I learned was that I was being demonized because whenever I could smoke, I didn't like to drink. Whenever I could just get a little bit of weed, I didn't like to drink, bro. And I didn't like to take Xanax. But it was the worst thing that I could ever do in front of anybody was have a little bit of weed, bro. If I had a little bit of weed, I was getting arrested. But if I had some pills, like it was nothing. I could play it off. If I had some beers, it was nothing. I could play it off. But I couldn't control that shit. The weed was helping me, but when I realized with harm reduction is hey, you people are going out instead of going to the bar, they're going home and having a joint and watching a movie with their family, and it's perfectly okay. And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I was on probation at this time, so I wasn't doing it, and I had a caseload. I never got high while I was working at Cinecor as a recovery coach. But the moment that I got off probation, I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I was like, I'm not being demonized for this no more. I said, I'm going to go smoke. I'm going to smoke weed and I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to ever pop pills again. Much more, I'm going to get off of my psych meds too.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're not. You're bipolar. You can't ever get off of lithium and Wellbutrin.
Yeah.
Me.
If you can trade a plant grown from the ground with all, with 4 or 5 different meds made in a lab and shit, dude,
But that was the thing, dude. Kizik, Sober October came around and I was running out of insurance and it was a godsend, but I was running out of meds too. So I started cutting my meds down because I started to realize like I was running out of lithium, I was running out of Wellbutrin, and I can't just stop because it's designed. The moment that you just stop a dose like that, you get depressed.
Yeah, yeah,
You become depressed.
yeah.
You become dependent.
I did the same exact.
So I weaned myself off, dude. And like I was telling Andy, I'm like, hey man, like this is coming. He was scared as fuck, bro, with good reason, man. This is 5 years that I've been on this stuff.
He thinks you're gonna start hitting the bottle again or something.
Well, he can't deny who I am now. He can't
Yeah.
deny this. This is almost 2 months without meds, and I don't even smoke as much. I was smoking more on psych meds because I was taking a mild stimulant in Wellbutrin that made me chase that high in a subtle fashion. Because when I was younger, I was on Vyvanse, which is not so subtle stimulant,
Oh, damn,
and
okay.
I could chase that weed high all day and just not try to get. I couldn't achieve it, bro. And then I realized I wasn't getting everything that I wanted from the plant because of the pharmaceutical chemical not letting me achieve that. Now that I'm completely clear of this, I'm not even using that as much now.
Yeah.
What a fucking crazy thing.
Right.
And y'all told me I was going to do more. Y'all told me that I was going to relapse. And you know what? And when I stopped, dude, I went manic for maybe a week there. I was not sleeping. I couldn't go to sleep. I would wake up and I would just be just energized. Let's go to work. I don't even need no caffeine. Let's do this. Even your brother questioned me if I was doing cocaine. He's like, I seen you with old boy over there. And I'm like, I'm really offended that it took you 2 weeks to ask me that, bro. No, I wasn't. That was a conversation that we had. I was manic. I was really manic because now, dude, I sleep like a baby. I don't have these swings. Something triggers me. I'm like, let's work this out. Like, let's process these things. It was weird because, like, the more that I was inclined to focus on not reacting, I was reacting. It was telling me, don't react, don't react, don't react. Something happened, reaction. Oh, it's because I didn't take my meds today. Or, oh,
Yep.
because
It gives you something to blame it on. You know what I mean?
always a
did the
crutch,
same
dude.
shit, dude. I'd fucking lose my shit on something or whatever. I'd just get mad and I'm like, oh, it's because I didn't fucking take my meds. It's got to be because I didn't take my meds. No, dude, it was just normal fucking shit. You know what I mean? It was a perfectly normal.
Y'all forgot to teach me how to process my emotions when I came out about the abuse in 12. You're just ADHD, bruh.
Oh, you get sad? Oh, you take this pill.
You're ADHD.
dude.
It all started with us being ADHD too. Ain't that funny? There's a lot of connections with the people that have been traumatized. ADHD, addict. Now we got to get our lives together and it's all our fault. We did make the decisions that we make, and like, we're not justifying, and I'm not justifying any of the bad shit that I did, but somebody on the other side dropped the ball, and I'm here to hold myself accountable and said I did a lot of fucked up shit. It's time for y'all to hold yourselves accountable and say that y'all did fucked up shit too. Right. That's the only way that society is ever going to get better. If I live in a household with other people and I'm trying to teach my son a way of life to live, if I'm not walking around and saying, hey, I messed up, or hey, I could do better here, or hey, when I'm bored or something, I need to do the dishes. If I'm not doing that and being that accountable, then I can't tell other people what to do or like expect anything of them in the first place. I have to act like that already. And if those people that are in those roles aren't acting like that, then the ball's going to get dropped. And this is a direct reflection. You give people degrees with trauma and expect them to heal people, and they haven't even healed themselves because there was no resources for them. Because why? Money, 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 money. And all of this fucks me up, dude. Insurance, bro. I get charged at the end of the year because I don't have insurance, but yet it costs me $400 by myself to carry insurance on me, to keep a psychiatric doctor on the payroll. $400 a month?
Yeah, that's
How do you
fucking
expect me to live?
a whole ass bill. Right?
If it's not one thing, Kizik, if I'm not on probation, they're going to try to get me another way, bro. And like, I started seeing that for what it was. I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck y'all. I said, this life that I live, man, it's not worth y'all having. It's not worth it. It's not worth y'all having the gratification of knowing my reaction and then laughing about it because y'all's lives are fucked up and y'all don't want to deal with y'all's own shit.
yeah. And there might be, I mean, there might be some of them out there that are,
There's good people
you
in
know, yeah,
everything.
because I've seen good one, and I'm talking, like you said,
You know who they are, and they know who.
jailers, officers. Dude, I've seen it from, you know, both sides. There's
Counselors. It's about motives, baby. It's all about motives. What are you there for? Who are you trying to, what are you doing this for?
Yeah. Some of the jailers in there, I would tell them, I'd be like, you can tell who's there for a paycheck. I don't even want to deal with this shit. Just go home. And then there's some of those guys that show up and they're like, you know, hey, are y'all good? You know, y'all need anything? Man, I'm right here. Just holler at me if you need me. All right. Like, hey.
And then there's some of them that turn the TV off right at 10 p.m., come by, make sure that there's no towels hanging off of the end of the bed. Hey, get that towel off. Every single rule they want to enforce. Why are you like that, bro?
I told one guard, I told him, you know, I was like, you know, I can just see how you talk to us and stuff like that. You think we're trash. You know, you speak to us like we're trash. I can just the way you look at us, dude. You just look with this disgusted look at us. I was like, you realize do you like to go and watch, you know, go to Buffalo Wild Wings with the boys and go watch the UFC fight or something like that, you know? And oh yeah. Okay. How do you get home? Well, I can drive home. So you just told me you drink and drive,
Yep.
dude. You know what I mean? So like the only
And he's
thing
like,
is,
yeah, I did. I do.
Imagine if you would have got busted drinking and driving back from Buffalo Wild Wings with your cop buddies and fucking now you're in here with us. You know what I
You
mean?
want to know something about Henderson County that's not talked about in Henderson County that's actively going on in Henderson County right now?
What's that?
Have you ever heard of Coffee City, Texas?
Yep.
Do you know what happened there? No. But you can look up on K Houston, KHOU 11, and find out what happened in Coffee City. You want to know what happened?
Crooked ass cops.
The chief of police got the job there, failed to acknowledge that he had a DWI, proceeded to hire over 50 full-time reserve officers out of Houston and put them on the payroll, son. Put them on the payroll. They had over 50 cops in Coffee City, Texas, population 200. 50 cops?
Why?
Why? You know what's happening now? And why is nobody in Henderson County acknowledging this? Is it because the fact that anybody that's got a ticket in Coffee City, just even for speeding in the past year and a half, is getting dismissed now? Why is nobody talking about that?
Is Coffee City? Is that Henderson County?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is the very first town that you come into.
That's where we pick up our Christmas lights and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
the very first town you come into.
40 minutes from here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Accountability, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're quick to put somebody's mugshot or not just busted. I know that's two different things, but the sheriff's office is quick to post somebody's little bit of weed or somebody's mugshot from doing something crazy, but they ain't put that cop's mugshot. I ain't seen that police officer's mugshot on there.
And all he's got to do is say, hey, don't.
Has there been any paper articles? Has there been any Facebook clippings? Like, nobody's saying anything about that. We're talking about numbers of drug dealers that were getting off the street that have like no real violent crimes. And we're talking about the addicts that are struggling. We're pulling them out of the homes and taking away their parents, the kids' parents. We're going to do that, though. We'll make sure to post that. We'll make sure to put that out there. And again, man, I'm not sitting here and like trying to bash people and justify the things that I did. I'm really big on accountability, dude. I'm really big on the fact that people give you a hard fucking time for the shit that you've done and don't really even give you the benefit of the doubt for who you are as a person. because of the things of your past. That's why I'm on this thing, because I'm really big on showing people where they've come from and then where they're at now, bro, and where we're going. I'm big on when God speaks to us, and I think that God speaks to us through our conscience. And I feel like that it's achievable only through real spiritual clarity.
Mm.
And so I think that when we're searching for God, that might be like some people's journeys. When we ask God to live within us, He's already there. I stand on that truth because God speaks to me through my conscience. And what I'm big on now is when God tells us something, we have to do it. God's going to keep telling us to do it, and we're going to keep coming back to square one, trying to figure out, oh, yeah, God's been telling me to do this. If I do this a certain way, there will be a blessing in this. And I'm big on not bringing your ego in to certain situations when God tells us to do something. And I've seen where you've come from, and I've seen your heart, and I've also seen the fact that you still struggle with things. I can look past that because I can see your intention, and I can see your drive and your purpose and who you're finding yourself to be as your identity. I can stand on what I feel God tells other people that they're supposed to do in this life, and then discern whether that was God telling them or whether that was ego. And one thing that had happened, dude, I don't know what you were doing that day. I had just picked up Braden
Yeah.
in Kansas, and dude, I don't know. There was some shit going on the phone, and they were like, Kizik's drinking again. He went and worked with somebody today, and he confided in them that he was drinking. I don't even really know if that was the story, but I'm just telling you my side. And then after they had dropped you off, it had come to fruition that they were going to do some things for you as a blessing. They were going to do certain things for your household, for your family, because God told them that they needed to do that. But once they found out that you were drinking, they were like, well, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not how it works. If God tells us to do something, it's not about Kazik. It's about the family. It's about following through with that blessing so people can see it for what it is. And your brother's there. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. It's met with defiance, but like, dude, I know when God talks to me, bro. I'm not saying that these people, I'm not saying we're lost, bro. I'm saying that we've got to go deeper. Our love of God has to go deeper because God's love for us goes way deeper than our love for Him it does. I see that for what it is. I don't think that some of us are to the point of even loving ourselves enough to see how much God can love us. And once they see how much that they can love themselves, then they can truly only see how much God loves them because we ask God to live within us. That love can only come from within in the first place.
yeah.
I'm not bashing anybody. This is my podcast. Like, this is where I get to speak my truth, bro.
Speak it.
Yeah, dude. People can come on here, and I say this because if you disagree with this, please sit in this chair and let's have the conversation. If you're one of
There ain't gonna be no hate.
no, because I want to know where we can come to the common ground and really believe, hey, we serve the same God here. I promise you. I promise you. The same God that you're worshiping on Sundays is the same God that lives within me.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of these distinctions. Our God's relatable, bro. Like, and that's
I can picture my God right now. Like, if I mean, just the fact that we're speaking His name right now, you know what I mean, and just the little stuff that I do. I mean, dude, simple shit, holding the door open for an old lady,
yeah,
something like that. I could picture my God
random
out
acts
there
of
going,
kindness.
"Hey, Kizik, that's dope, bro."
Mhm.
That exact sentence.
Our God's a
That's dope, bro.
2024 God, bro.
I can picture. I
Our gods are relatable. And here's a question that I started to ask, and like I ask a lot of questions. I don't know why I asked this to your brother, but I said, have you ever felt like in real life, dude, maybe passing through the grocery store or just like maybe on a move or something? You ever felt like that maybe you denied Christ? Maybe Christ had incarnated in that person and directly lived within that person, and like they were living a real Christ conscious life, and they might have told you something that could have been a profound effect on your life, and you denied it and you did something different. You ever thought about that, dude? It could have been somebody that had all those piercings, and it could have been somebody with all those dreads that dropped some profound knowledge and you denied.
And the little
And
dude
he's like,
the fucking swoop to the side, holding, with the button up and stuff,
yeah.
is going, oh my goodness, look at this character here.
You know what your brother said?
Hmm.
He said, I think about that a lot. And I was like, really? It
Mhm.
blew me away. Like, that was the most backwards answer that I thought. It was a really humble answer
Yeah.
because it showed me that your brother lived in reality. I need you to watch this movie. It's called Finding Joe. I don't know if I've told you this, but you've got to fucking watch it. It's free on YouTube. It'll change your life. Watch it tonight. You can watch it with the entire family. It'll change your life. You'll be like, oh my God. Like,
Finding Joe.
Finding Joe. Andy showed it to me and it changed my life. And Finding Joe, it's a deep philosophical movie. But in Finding Joe, they talk about certain people have asked Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, even mythical creatures, dude, like dragons. They've asked these things to incarnate in them through meditation, like just live within me, dwell within me, principles. And I did that, dude. I after that happened, I want to achieve a Christ consciousness. And I met God, dude. I set out on that purpose and it happened. I believe Christ dwells within me.
Oh,
Anything that I do out of self, I feel convicted on, bro. I feel like I've sinned.
that's that conviction.
Yeah. So, like, when I cuss or like when I hit my vape, or sometimes I'm convicted on certain things, like too much of anything is a bad thing. Gluttony is a bad thing. We ain't got much time, man. We'll end it right here. Go watch Finding Joe, bro, and then we'll pick up on this. I'll send you the link. Watch Finding Joe. I didn't even know either. I didn't
Yeah,
even know either.
I know.
It's
But
just kind of
it's kind
spontaneous.
of breaking the ice and shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And it's good, dude. It'll be great, bro. But I want to talk more. What I really want is you to see like how much your life starts to change for the better and how much you thought your reality of what was real was real. Because the people that are for you are going to be there.
Yeah.
I've really realized like who's down for me, who's in my corner, who helps me stand on my truth, like who really is like, dude, keep it up, bro. Keep it up.
Saying Christ dwells within you. I know Christ dwells within me.
You asked
And
him to
look,
dwell within you, and that never leaves, dude. When you become saved, did you do it at a young age?
yeah, you know what? I got baptized twice.
And you know what? The moment that you probably asked that to happen is when bad things started happening to you. Because I know I asked Jesus to come to my life when I was 6,
Uh-huh.
and I started being molested when I was 6. Why could I have God's love if I didn't understand what humanity had to offer?
Yeah, it's because the devil's gonna the people that are already lost.
It's
He's
already
already got
confusing.
them.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
confusing.
mean?
He comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and the people that say that are the ones that are lost, bro.
Yep. And so, like, dude, it doesn't matter, man. If you want so many jewels on your crown and be like, I want to sit right next to Jesus whenever I get to heaven and stuff, and like, but you're gonna bash people like me that have tattoos on their face.
They fail to realize that they possibly could already be living in hell.
Oh yeah.
And that
Do you know like, I mean, okay, I got my beer. You know what I mean? That's kind of my little vice at the moment and stuff. And I'm not fucking perfect. But dude, I'm far from judgmental. I will fucking, dude, if
dude,
anybody reached out and was like, Kizik, dude, I'm going through it. I need to talk.
and I would
Like,
call
oh,
you.
dude, yeah,
Yeah.
fucking,
And I would trust that you
there.
would be able to have a coherent conversation with me at 1 a.m. Like, I don't think that
Mhm.
you're just getting obliterated. Right?
No, yeah, no,
And
I find
listen, man, listen. We're here to have an experience, brother. We're here to have this experience. And I also know I can tell people that are also anointed in this and who are going to lead people that are lost and who are going to change people's minds and ideations about what God is supposed to be and what real change and evolution is supposed to look like and what we're supposed to do as humans in the form of unconditional love and how that makes more miracles happen. It happens in my life, and it even your brother even sees it. The main purpose is, dude, is I think, and I showed Braden a picture of this the other day. If you look at our solar system, our universe, 2 billion light years across is space, black. But
And it keeps going.
but no, once that's 2 billion light years hits, there is a line right there, and it's a perfect circle, Kizik. And there are more stars in this cluster than there are grains of sand on this planet. We are in the middle of a space that is nothing but black, and all around that is all of what this is right here. We are alone. We are in the middle of nowhere on a planet that is dwelled in fire. Yeah, we're meant to, like, the only way that I've achieved any real success here is by real intentional love. We got to see that our souls are eternal, man. We're eternal, and like our conscience is already an energy that dwells within us that will never die. This body will die. We're souls with a body. We'll talk more about this, dude.